today on Divorce Court.
I'm here today because my fiance Travis and I have been together for about 4.5 years.
I'm here today to resolve some issues that me and her have so we can get married.
Travis proposed to me about 3 months ago, and he has yet to move forward as far as setting a wedding date or doing anything as far as planning for our future.
My biggest issue with Harley is her bossiness, making snappy comments, and short-tempered towards anything I do.
I don't know if he just has cold feet or what the deal is, but I'm ready to move forward, and I'm ready for him to make that step too.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Harley Ward and Travis Avery. The two of you are here on the Before Your Vows. You two have been together for 4.5 years. You've been engaged for 3 months. You've come to me because you have some issues and you want to know my opinion about your union. You've taken my compatibility test. Ms. Ward, you wrote me a book. I also have your marriage license here with permission to tear it up should I think this union is ill-advised. I will start with Ms. Ward. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your relationship and why you're here in divorce court today?
So like you said, Travis and I have been together for about 4.5 years. Travis proposed to me about 3 months ago. It was a really special proposal. He and I have a dog together. He is pretty much like our child. The way that he proposed was, I'm always buying Opie, is our dog, these new collars, and have been for years and years. And one day he came in and he had a new collar on Opie. And it's not like him to ever buy the dog collars at all. I thought it was very out of the ordinary. And so he insisted that I look at the collar and kept asking me to take a better look, take a better look. And so eventually I got Opie to come over to me, and sure enough, there was the diamond ring on the collar.
Well done, Mr. Avery. Well done.
So I was very excited about getting married. We've been together a long time and have talked about marriage in the past. And so was very excited about planning a wedding. And, you know, as soon as we started talking about wedding plans, it was kind of where it ended. It hasn't gone anywhere. He refuses to make any wedding plans, to even talk about making wedding plans.
Do you have a date set?
We do not. We do not have a date set, and this has been 3 months. So I have, you know, people at work, my friends asking me about, you know, what's the date? What's the date? That's like the big news, you know, is when's the date? And I don't even know what to tell them. I'm having to buy myself more time. And, you know, I'm Catholic, so when you get married in a Catholic church, you have to go through all kinds of premarital classes and whatnot. And so it takes about a year to go through these classes in order to get married. And so, you know, I would like to go ahead and start taking the classes and talking to the priest and getting this show on the road, but
you want to know why Mr. Avery is dragging his feet?
Yes.
Okay, let's ask him. Mr. Avery, what is your take on the state of your relationship and your impending nuptials?
Well, there's a few things that I like to get in order first. There's a lot of nagging and just bossiness that I have a hard time dealing with, more or less. And I would kind of like to get those things under wraps before we go any further.
There's a reason for
So
that.
wait, hang on though. You don't want to tie yourself to a situation that you're not completely comfortable with.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
Right.
You understand what he just said?
Yes, but there's a reason for the nagging.
Well, okay, but go ahead.
So recently, we moved in together about a year ago, and therefore we share our financial responsibilities as far as rent and bills. And Travis likes to play these video lottery machines and buy lottery tickets at a gas station. And, you know, I like to do that too. It's fun to kind of, you know, gamble sometimes, but to an extent. So recently, Travis had part of our rent money that he was supposed to pay towards rent, and he went to the gas station and spent every bit of it in one of these machines.
Mr. Avery, did you gamble away the rent money?
I did, but you see, there's a lot of time that passed where I was kind of held responsible for the bills, you know, and where, you know, more or less she didn't really, if bills came up, you know, and I didn't have the money, you know, it was my fault and everything. So I kind of got to a point where I kind of intentionally would spend some of the money just because I was kind of tired of dealing with, you know, all the responsibility.
What you're saying is that, you know, she kind of put all the financial responsibility on your shoulders, and so you kind of backed off of that so she would contribute more equally.
Right.
Did you two have a conversation about who was going to pay what and who was responsible when you moved in together?
Multiple conversations, Your Honor. We have multiple conversations. We still have conversations ongoing
and
about this.
What was the agreement, though? What did you say, this is how it's going to work?
Well, it depends. So right now, Travis is kind of in between jobs. jobs. He works with his parents' company, and so he has worked for them for a number of years. So he had it pretty good, in my opinion. I also have a very good job and make pretty good money. So, you know, for a while there, we felt like we could split 50-50. But now that Travis is kind of in between jobs and trying to get this new job, I understand that he doesn't make quite as much money as I do. And, you know, he's working on that. And so I don't mind to, you know, step up and pay a little bit extra. But I don't feel right that it's okay for him to go and just blow our money away at some sort of a...
I got you. And we're going to talk about economics. But let me go back to the wedding date. Is it a matter of, is it a contingency thing? If things don't get better, I'm not going to go through with it? Or you think, man, maybe in a year or two, I'm looking to get married. Do you have a timeline?
Well, to be completely honest, I kind of, you know, this is my first time ever doing anything like this, and I kind of thought, you know, that I made the first notion towards getting married, you know, so that it should be would set the date more or less. I didn't, you know, I've never done anything like this, so I thought it'd be her responsibility or just her idea when to get married, you know.
Oh, never let a woman do that. Oh, don't push yourself in those kind of shoes, you know. Like, oh, no.
And I thought it might help out with a lot of the nagging and this.
Have you talked about a wedding date, though?
No,
have you
not really.
discussed what it is you want and why you want it, when you want it?
No, I can't say that I have. I'm kind of docile a lot of times. I don't really speak up.
Now, Mr. Avery, you can't get married if you can't speak up for yourself.
Right.
It won't work out. You know what I mean? It won't work out. You won't be happy. You'll be resentful and angry all the time, and she'll be all bossy. You got to get a man up. Say what you want. Say what you need. She can't give you what you need unless she knows.
Right.
And you have a right to get what you need. You know what I mean? Don't just go along with the boat.
Right.
Steer. See what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you want?
I want a woman that wants me for who I am and, you know, is willing to split the responsibilities 50-50 and not always wanting to blame me for all of our problems, more or less. So, I mean, that's pretty much, I just need a woman that would accept me for who I am.
Okay. Now, I'm going to switch gears yet again because I believe, Mr. Avery, you think she might be cheating. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that because that could indeed be part of the problem.
I've seen some messages between her and friends she used to work with at a restaurant saying, you know, like, I love you, or I'd like to see you as well, or, you know, or hurry up, give me a call, you know.
The one text message he talked about, he's gone, come over. Did that happen? Mr. Avery, do you believe Ms. Ward is cheating on you?
Well, you see, there's a few things that just came up over time, like on Facebook. I've seen messages, which I hate to snoop, but, you know,
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. And I've seen some messages between her and friends she used to work with at a restaurant saying, you know, like, I love you, or I'd like to see you as well, or, you know, or hurry up, give me a call, you know, things along those lines, and I don't really understand them, you know. And
I managed a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I was a manager of a restaurant for about 7 years, and so...
What's that got to do with I love you and can't wait to see you?
So in these 7 years, I got very close to numerous of my employees, and some of which were guys, and, you know, it was kind of like our little, you know, flirty ways of, you know, somebody saying that they love me. There's nothing to it whatsoever.
Flirty. Flirty.
Travis knows who this guy is. He knows how the guy is. He knows it's just nothing more than him just being kind of a lovable guy. You know, this has been, you know, a couple of years ago. I don't really talk to the guy anymore. I don't work at this restaurant. So, you know, when it came up, you know, we dealt with it. And, you know, I was very honest with Travis about the fact that, you know, I'm not cheating on him. If we're going to move forward and get married, you know, I think the biggest part of a marriage is trust and honesty. And I'm not going to be with somebody that I'm going to cheat on. I think that if you're going to do that, then you may as well just go out and do that on your own. I think that...
You say she deletes a lot of messages.
Well, there's one guy...
It makes you suspicious?
Right, there's one guy in particular that I've never met him as far as who she works with now, and, you know, I've seen messages on there saying, hey, you know, meet me at some restaurant during work hours or whatever, you know, and then it'll come up a week later and it'll just be, hey, you know, on there. Like, there'll be, you know, it'll be like a message left open, you know, for an answer, you know, and nothing after that. And then, you know, a week later there won't be any messages from that person other than, hey, you know, but all our other messages are still
there.
intact, you know.
Right.
So I don't.
Well, what's up with that?
So
Ms.
the reason
Ms.
that I
Ward?
do that is because I know that Travis is going to freak out about it. I know that ahead of time. And so I'm in a very, very social position in my job. I'm an underwriter for an insurance company. And so I go out all the time. I market. I meet with brokers. I meet with other underwriters. I meet with my clients, constantly traveling. And so, you know, part of my job is to go out and have lunch with people. I do that on sometimes a daily basis. And sometimes it is, male colleagues of mine or sometimes male clients of mine. And, that's just part of the job. It doesn't mean that I'm necessarily...
But why delete the message? So yes, let's meet for lunch.
Because he's gonna freak out about it anyway. Because there's no convincing Travis that I'm not doing anything with these guys. I'm just going to lunch. If he sees that, oh, would you like to go to lunch with me? He freaks out and thinks, why would
Okay,
you have lunch
let me
with this
ask
guy?
you this: the one text message he talked about, he's gone, come over. Did that happen?
What? I don't even know what that is.
It was a while back, but.
A while back, but what happened? He's gone, come over?
So we were broken up for about a year. We were not together. My mom is very involved in our relationship.
I thought we were still together.
My mom's very involved in our relationship, and about a couple years ago, she decided that she would step in and kind of say her opinion about Travis. She kind of thought that Travis wasn't the guy for me. She thought maybe I could get out in the dating scene and try to find a guy that maybe was a little bit more fit for me and who maybe I could just experience some different
So
things.
your mother came over?
So my mother just got involved in our relationship, and she kind of let me know that maybe I should start seeing other guys, and so eventually she convinced me to give us a break and to just kind of see what happened.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
How your mama gonna come in and tell you who to be with? Now, Mr. Avery, we got two pushy women in a row. I just want you to see.
Yeah.
I'm worried about you.
Yeah, thank you.
I am. Mr. Avery, aren't you a little worried?
Very. I mean, that's.
You see, you've got a very active, involved family all in your business.
Right.
They don't like where you work.
Right, well,
They're not welcoming. Are you concerned? Is it time for Travis to set a date to marry Harley? Tell us what you think at facebook.com/Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. If you would like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Divorce Court. How do you see your relationship with her mother?
Now it's better than it was, but before it wasn't good at all because, her mom would even call my mom and tell her that, to have me not, be involved with her, that it was...
Her mother would call your mother
Right,
and tell her mother to stop her son from seeing her daughter.
Right. Yeah, that would
What
be
did
best
your mother say?
to, stop calling me, more or less. But that was a long time ago, but still is just kind of an underlying issue, I guess.
She's a big dipper. You know what I mean? She dips.
Right.
Does your mother dip a lot?
She doesn't anymore. She did. So my mom went through a really bad divorce with my dad about 10 years ago, and it left her with the opinion that, she needed to kind of watch out for herself and watch out for me and teach me, that, I needed to pick the right guy and I needed to make sure that, I was going to be happy. And so that's, I think, why she got involved. Now, she definitely realizes that was a mistake, and she's apologized to both of us for that. So it's taken Travis a while to get back in good with her. But, in my mom's defense, Travis wouldn't come over to her house. He didn't want to be involved with our family. Every time that we would have a family function, Travis always had an excuse as to why he couldn't come, as to why he wanted to leave early.
Well, if I went over there, I'd be pretty much following them around. Like, they'd have their own little conversation, pretty much, and I'd kind of sit on the outskirts of everything, just kind of listening.
You didn't feel included or embraced.
He didn't try.
Hang on. Was your family embracing? Because when you bring your man over your people's house, it's your job and your people's job to embrace him. He's not supposed to ingratiate. Were you a welcoming family?
I think at first we were. We did give him a chance, but I think as time went on and we, saw, or my family saw that, maybe he wasn't, trying as hard as he should, or maybe, they didn't think that he was the guy for me. Maybe they
Well,
weren't.
they thought he didn't have a good enough job. They were worried about his financial future, yes?
They were worried about that, and they were just worried about, we all were from a very small town in Georgia.
I worked for 10 years. I mean,
we're from a very small town in Georgia, so word gets around about, everybody knows everybody, and, I guess they just, form opinions pretty quickly. And, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that, I agree with what they did, but it did happen.
Mr. Avery, aren't you a little worried?
Very. I mean,
you've got a very active, involved family all in your business.
Right.
They don't like where you work. They're not welcoming. Are you concerned?
I was very concerned. I mean, that was my main issue of why I didn't like going over there mainly.
Do you see what I'm saying to him? Do you understand the picture that you painted and how that would be off-putting to somebody?
There are a lot of things, though, Your Honor, that, have happened that have made them have that opinion about him. He, as far as financial situation goes, there have been other times when he has not done what he's supposed to do as far as, being the man in the relationship and putting in his, his half of things. He's made some very poor decisions when it comes to blowing money.
I supported us for a long time, more or less. When she worked for the restaurant, she didn't bring home very much money at all.
Stop. Let the man finish talking.
And I pretty much paid most of the bills then, and we lived there for a year. And then even whenever she was getting her new job, she didn't want to work for a month or two before that. And I covered all the bills then,
Is all that true?
It is to some degree, but I don't understand why we have to go back to the past. I mean, this is the future now, I mean, just because I didn't work for a month in the past, does that mean that right now he doesn't have to put in his side of things? I mean, I don't understand that. I mean,
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. We're going to address all that. Do you think Travis and Harley will regret marrying each other? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram @Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. Ms. Ward, your compatibility test reflected who you showed up here today. You are verbose. You got a lot to say, and you got a lot of specific ideas. You want honesty, gentleness, protection, spontaneous, father figure. I don't get that one. Faith, similar goals, willing to have time apart. And then a whole nother paragraph about what you wanted, about adaptations and expectations and commitment with relation to finances. And you got a lot of wants, and I think you have a very specific idea of who your husband should be. And I think that is a dangerous thing. You should love the guy you got, not the one you want him to be. You have a vision of a husband that doesn't fit him. And he's not a bad guy. He's relaxed, he's kicked back, he may not be really great with finances. All guys aren't. I mean, he loves you, he's cool, he's quiet, but don't pick on him, don't pick at him like to death. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not giving you this marriage certificate, Mr. Avery. I want you to find some peace. I want you to make sure you're well centered and strong. Because I think she could roll over you because you don't
stand up
enough and say, hey, this is what this is what that is. I understand what you want, but you have to be with a guy who can give you what you want. You can't make him into somebody else who will. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, back off the wedding date. You might want to go into marriage counseling early. See if this is something that you could work out. Because right now, Mr. Avery, I was just your mother. I'd be over your house with some bags, packing you up. This matter is adjourned.
I think that we do have some issues we need to work on. However, I think that with Travis's irresponsibility and his financial problems, then all we need to do is think through these things, have a little bit more responsibility when it comes to paying our bills, and we should set a wedding date really soon.
I definitely would expect some change before we do set a date. She's definitely going to have to calm down a little bit, and I think we figure things out here in the next year or so, whether or not we're going to get married. But I think we definitely will get married. Just have a few things we need to work on.